You first or me?
We should really review it first.
Okay. Hi, I'm David Short.
Matt Rowe.
Today we watched
Dying God.
Dying God.
Now that sounds like a cool title. And if you guys find the poster for it, actually, you know what? Here, poster right here.
Wow, that is a nice looking poster.
That's a pretty cool looking poster.
I know, look at that.
Yeah, and that poster makes the movie look way cooler than the movie actually.
Wait, okay, take it down. Take it down.
Okay. This movie is so fucking bad. Oh, this makes Jim Cotta look like a fucking Oscar winner. Seriously.
It does. It really does. I feel naughty just saying that.
Yeah, the funny thing is though, like it's obviously shot digital. It's obviously shot digital, and I don't have a problem with that because obviously I shoot digital and I can't really get them away from how it looks sometimes. But at the same time, from what it says is that it costs like $500,000 to make this. I'm like, you couldn't get cameras that were barely better in high definition compared to Taint Light? Really? Birdemic had a... No, Birdemic was pretty much on par.
It looks exactly like Birdemic. Sometimes it looks a bit better, but most times it's on the same.
It had a good shot or two throughout the movie. I'm like, oh, that's a good shot, good framing, okay. Oh, no, it's back to shitty.
Okay, alright, well let's go over the plot real first. Alright, real quick, the plot, I think, of the movie is, you got a dirty cop, it's an election year.
It's an election year. It's an election year.
They will not let you forget.
They will not let you forget. They say it like 6-7 times.
But it's an election year. There's a dirty cop named Fallon. And now Fallon...
He's nowhere near as funny as Jimmy Fallon.
No. Even if you don't even like Jimmy
Even
Fallon,
if you don't even...
this guy's still not nearly as good as Jimmy Fallon.
This makes Jimmy Fallon look funny. If you don't like him. But,
It goes over how he does all this stuff. And then all of a sudden...
all the cops are stereotypes in this movie.
Yeah.
All the cops are stereotypes. It's like, what you doing here, Fallon? What you doing here? And like, no one, like, he apparently doesn't have any other name than Fallon. He's like, what you doing here, Fallon?
But then all of a sudden, hookers start dying, and they aren't dying in an unusual way. They were raped to the point where their uterus was punctured into their stomach.
And then it protrudes out and whatnot. So basically it looks like they were just cut open from, like, here to here.
Real quick.
Some like, Brazilian American is chasing this thing down with a machete, and he's in, like, 2 scenes, and he doesn't really do anything.
I don't even know what that character was.
Yeah,
was he like trying to get the monster? Did he save the monster? Was like working with it?
I don't even remember. Like, I think they went over the history of what this monster was, but at the same time, like, it really doesn't explain it very well. It's like someone went on to the to the Wikipedia search of what the phrase "dying God" means. It's like, oh, okay, well, let's do like with what Indiana Jones did with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and just like, you know, take an idea from a legend and make something completely not related to it.
2008 though, so
yeah, this was 2008. I actually have to say that probably the best filmed scene in the entire movie was the scene where all of these gangsters... Yeah, this is supposed to be a supernatural horror film, and we spend the majority of the time with all these pimps and hookers and whatnot. It's like Vice Squad meets Doppelganger, the book Doppelganger. That would be a fun book. That would be a fun movie to make into a book.
There you go.
Sorry. There's this one scene where they're all sitting around a circular table and the camera is constantly moving around the people and whatnot. That was well shot. But that's all you can really say about that scene. Alright, the writing...
No.
Because it has to talk about the plot.
No. I don't want to hear about the writing again. I heard the writing once. I don't want to hear it again.
Well, let's just talk about the writers first.
Okay.
There are like 5 different writers for this script.
There's one original story, 4 screenplay, and 1... What was the last one? There was 4 screenplay, 1 original story. Oh, translator.
Translator, yes, because for some reason one of the... I think it's because they shot some of this with something involving Buenos Aires, because I remember some production company involved with it.
There was Buenos Aires Rojo word. I don't know.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Yeah.
But, okay.
The writing, the lines, the talking of the characters is so cheesy. So cheesy. You think it would be lovable after a while. Nah.
No.
Nah.
No.
You're thinking
No.
too optimistically here. It's just cheesy. As we said before, the cops, stereotypical. So all you're going to get from the cops are, I don't think Fallon should be on this case anymore, all right? He is a loose cop, and we have no room for that in an election year.
That's pretty much how every single cop scene ends for like the first 45 minutes of this movie. This movie is 1 hour and 20 minutes, including credit time. And I will say, actually, and I said this to David at the end of the movie, the piano theme score that they have for this movie is actually not bad. It looks like it's very influenced from John Carpenter, which is a good influence if you want to do horror scores. But at the same time, these are like the smallest little tiny pieces of good things that we find about it. Except for one piece, but we'll save that for a little later.
You're gonna like the last.
Yeah, you're gonna like the last bit. We did. We got a big kick out of it. But
all right, so hold on. Let's just continue through.
Finish the rest of the story.
Okay, so as I said, hookers were dying, and they told you how they were dying. Over time, they discovered little things. They discover, well, this semen isn't human, or we got skin cells that wasn't human. Over time, they put together. It's not human. In fact, it's
who would have thunk?
An alien or whatever, and that's where
it's
dying god
creature from the middle of South America, yet they're in wherever the fuck they are.
It's the creature from the Midway Dark Lagoon.
And this thing, seriously, this creature, you get a shot of his dick.
Real nice, long.
Like, you see his dick retracting into him and whatnot. I'm like, yeah, we did not need to see that. Several of the actors in this movie are also softcore porn stars.
Don't ask how we know.
But, like, the main person who plays Fallon is from soap operas and whatnot. Like, one of the main girls, literally is just a softcore porn star. I was half expecting to see Sasha Grey come up, but you know what? At the same time, Sasha Grey actually stars in bigger budget things than this.
This is way too low.
This is low. This is low for her.
Oh,
I'm like, she's worked with Steven Soderbergh,
which makes our last little thing all the more surprising.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We're setting this up. You're gonna
definitely
like
yeah. And all right, so
over time, the dirty cop is doing the basic detective
thing, yeah.
He's essentially just drinking and ending up where he needs to be.
Drinking, popping pills, being a dick. Yeah. Basically, a white version of Alonzo Harris from Training Day that isn't cool.
Now, if you can imagine that character not being cool, then good for you. But seeing this movie, you'll get what we said.
Yeah, pretty much. Alright, the acting is so flat and uninteresting for the most part, or else it's so over the top that they're basically caricatures. And they're not necessarily mutually exclusive, by the way, because you might get someone acting over the top in one take, but literally like 30 seconds later or something like that, they'll cut back to them and they're acting completely different, like completely like monotone or something like that. It's very blaxploitation style. It's very funny. But
it's if I had to compare it to the other films, it's not as bad as Tame Life.
It's a sleazy movie that knows what sleaze it needs to put in there, but even then, by comparison, it's relatively limp.
Yeah, perfect way to explain how sleazy it is. There was a scene where he comes in and stops this one girl from being raped by some other character. I don't fucking remember.
This is the very beginning.
Very beginning. He gets a call from one chick to stop the other guy. So then he busts in and he's like, freeze, and he takes out the guy. And then he's like, all right, ladies, I'll see you. It's like, wait, we have to pay you.
Yeah, we have to pay you. And, like, then you have this elongated three-way sex scene. I'm like...
It's not even that long, though. That's
yeah, well, it's still way past its due.
It only needed, like, maybe 20 seconds to get the point across, or even just a jump cut to the end.
Yeah.
But no, they showed you, all right, cool, we're done, we're moving on.
And it's not even softcore porn worthy. I mean, like...
don't get me wrong. There is softcore porn in this. A little bit.
Very little bit. It's usually when the creature is raping someone, though.
And it's not.
It's not pretty.
It's not.
It's not pretty. And, oh yeah, and also that hollow threat from the gangster to Chase that he was not going to live through the night and whatnot. I find that funny because everyone else dies.
I know.
Alright, so I guess that brings us to...
Okay, well, hold on. As we've said, all acting in this was flat or over the top or both, except...
But regardless of it, it was bad.
Right, except for one.
One actor.
There was one actor in this who was just good, and we couldn't tell why.
Yeah, it was,
his name was Chance in the movie.
Yeah, Chance.
We just couldn't tell why he was so good.
And also, he looked very familiar. We didn't understand where we had seen him before.
So we went on IMDb in the middle of the movie, because trust me, we weren't missing anything.
No, you weren't.
And
you could tune out for about 15 minutes and you wouldn't miss a fucking thing.
So we found out this man is Lance Henriksen. Now, if you don't know who that is...
It's Bishop from Aliens.
I don't even know how they got him.
How they got him to be in this movie does baffle me as well. It really does. He's a good actor.
He's really good.
Now, of course, he's in so much schlock. And I won't deny that there's definitely performances I've seen him in that he's not good. Like, exactly. Like, he's been in Alone in the Dark 2, Alien vs. Predator. He's in tons of movies every year that are just, like, direct-to-DVD things. But seriously, the fact that they got him to be in this particular movie blows my mind.
Exactly.
The camera work in this thing is almost as bad as the movie's side effects, which I think we actually should get into later on in the show because.
Thank you.
Oh well, I haven't seen it in years, so I think we should revisit it anyway. But yeah. And now this is the cool thing when it comes down to Bishop. This is the cool thing about his character. Alright, one, the exposition of all the characters in the very beginning of the movie is so rushed, it's so stupid.
And it's so boring.
It's so boring. Like, I'm like, alright, exposition scene.
He's a dirty cop, he did some crap, okay.
Yada, 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 yada. Now, right before the very ending scene, right before when Fallon and Chance are about to go and face down the monster and whatnot and claim Chance's female companion, Angel. What a wonderful symbolic name there. Yeah. But he does give the backstory of how he and Angel met, and not only is it A, completely appropriately placed, B, very well acted, but C, it's actually not really horribly written either. It's a well-written passage. I won't say it's well shot because everything in this movie is shot from extremely flat angles. And also the lighting is the same way. It looks very flat. There's very little depth involved. But in that regard, the very last part about Chance that is really cool, and we're just going to call him Bishop because that's
all we were calling him.
Yeah, we were just calling him the entire time we actually found out. I was like, oh, Bishop's back! Oh, but there was this one part where it faked out where it looked like... and we're not spoiling anything for you guys, because fuck spoilers.
Look, everything we ever review, we're saying this now, could potentially have spoilers, but we're just going to assume the movies are so bad, you don't care.
Yeah, pretty much. And you just want to watch it just because. But there's a fake out where Bishop almost gets killed. When Bishop gets killed,
at least it
looks like that for the monster. And then when they come back, when Fallon arrives, he just said, "Oh, I guess he didn't think I was much of a threat because he's in a wheelchair the whole movie.
He's completely
he's more badass than anyone else in this movie. Also because of that wheelchair. But we'll get into that in a second.
Well, hold on. That one scene where he did that beforehand, when it looked like he died, we were looking at each other. We were like, I don't care about this movie anymore. It's literally, it sucks.
Yeah,
now.
Bishop's gone. Like, yeah, all right, let's just.
And then they cut back, and he was still alive, and we were like,
yes, Bishop, yes, you have our attention again.
Oh, this is mildly not killing me.
Yeah.
Okay, they're using crap angles again. Cheesy dialogue.
Bad effects, inability to know how to direct an action sequence.
Bishop is giving his exposition.
Oh.
And that's how it went. That's how it went. But as for the wheelchair aspect, as we said before, he gave that in his exposition, and again, it all just flowed nicely. And since
they gave a reason for why he was in the wheelchair,
exactly.
what his connection was to Angel,
and since he's a Hollywood actor, he can give the performance. It doesn't have to be great, but it's miles above anybody else in the movie.
Yeah.
But the reason
he gives class to this movie that's like it doesn't deserve, but the badassery of his wheelchair is the fact that they literally went this far. He literally moves his legs aside in a scene where underneath in his wheelchair is a fucking javelin. It's a harpoon. It's because it has a cable attached to it. It is a harpoon in which he fires into the chest of the creature. The shark has been jumped. The shark has been jumped several times over. We didn't actually believe it when we saw it at first. It's like, all right, seriously? Because Fallon at that time was readying a chainsaw to try to do the whole Evil Dead route on this thing. But seriously, and also there's no other reason why that harpoon would ever exist there.
Well, see, but it didn't even impact the movie that much. The monster literally just took it out of his chest, and then we went on to the chainsaw route.
Yeah.
It was literally just to make him more badass, and it worked.
Yeah. And here's the ending. We're not spoiling anything for you, obviously, but here's the ending. Unless you literally care about this movie, in which case, get your head checked.
In which case, you worked on the movie, and you already know.
Yeah. But the thing is, with the end of the movie, everybody dies except for Bishop and Angel.
And one other girl, but I don't actually...
And one other girl, but she wasn't even in the scene. She just kind of shows up at the end.
I don't think she even had a name.
She had a name. She was a doctor something and whatnot.
No, I was talking about the one who ran out and the monster was...
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
I don't know who she was.
That's the supposed ending for a sequel. But, the thing is, though, if they actually had cut as soon as Bishop and Angel had walked away, that actually would have made me feel... Actually, I'm like, all right, that ended the movie. Good.
Wrapped it up.
Yeah. You didn't have to have the whole suggesting a sequel type deal because some girl is running away that she's pregnant. And also the fact of the matter is the fact that this creature has been stealing girls and only for like so many days. So how fast is the pregnancy?
That's what I was.
Yeah, it's like and also like there's this one scene where he literally just goes and rips the baby out of one of this woman's like.
It was a baby doll. Let me just clarify. It was literally a baby doll. You could see the plastic line.
Oh yeah, and one of the gangsters ends up shooting it and making the creature very mad. Dude, the creature literally looks like the same creature from Space Invaders. It's the movie that is put in the very opening credit sequence to Pod People. And if you're a fan of the Cinema Snob, you know exactly what movie I'm talking about. The suit looks exactly the same, and that's pretty fucking pathetic. But, all that aside, we really can't talk too much else about this movie. There's, when it came... Now, unlike Gymkata, which was, 80s cheese, which is so fucking enjoyable to watch.
Except for this, because it was so boring and
forgettable. But this movie right here, oh, God, it was painful from the very beginning of it to watch. It was nowhere near as painful as Taint Light.
Taint Light.
I dread the day someone suggests us a movie that actually is worse than Taint Light on Netflix. And then we're going to review it and you guys are going to see how angry we are. But, other than that, this movie is nothing special. And I won't say it's the worst movie we've seen, obviously, and obviously it's not obviously the best movie, but it's just bad. It's just a basic bad movie.
If you like Aliens if you like Predator, if you like those kind of movies, you're probably not going to like this. If you like the Alien sequels, 4, what was it, Alien Resurrection?
I don't fucking know.
You may like this, but in that same case, you
and that's
need
a
your head
huge,
checked.
that's a huge fucking stretch, and your standards have to be really goddamn low. But, and to be honest, actually, I know, like, you know, like last episode, I didn't think it could be worse. This one, seriously, like, you know, what else can you throw at us?
Why do you end on these things? What else can you throw at it? You're asking for trouble. You are asking for some... Oh, God, man. I'm through the fucking shit!